On a freezing morning in 2009, a 33-year-old engineer walked out of the Facebook headquarters with his head down. He had just been rejected for a job. A few months later, he applied to Twitter. They rejected him too. He was unemployed, living off his savings, and seemingly unwanted by the tech world. His name was Koum. To understand the weight of this failure, you have to look back at where he came from. Jan grew up in a small village outside Kiev, Ukraine. His house had no hot water. His parents feared the secret police so much that they rarely spoke on the phone, a silence that would haunt him forever. At 16, he immigrated to the United States with his mother. They were sweeping floors at a grocery store just to survive. They lived in a tiny apartment in North San Jose, relying on government assistance. Every week, Jan would stand in a humiliatingly long line at a drab social services building to collect food stamps just so they could eat. When the iPhone launched, Jan saw a future that the experts at Facebook and Twitter missed. He wanted to build an app that did one thing: let people talk freely, without ads, without gimmicks, and without being spied on, the very freedom he lacked as a child. He called it WhatsApp. The early days were brutal. The app kept crashing. No one was downloading it. He was burning through his savings and was ready to quit and go look for a normal job. But his co-founder told him he'd be an idiot to quit now. Give it a few more months. Jan kept his head down. He'd worked out of a warehouse, wearing a blanket to stay warm because they couldn't afford heating. On his desk, he taped a note that read, "No ads, no games, no gimmicks." 5 years after being rejected by Facebook, something incredible happened. Facebook came back. But this time, they weren't offering him a job. They were begging to buy his company. The deal was signed for $19 billion. But here's the detail that gives you chills. When it was time to sign the final contract, Jan didn't do it in a boardroom. He didn't do it in a lawyer's office. He drove his Porsche back to that drab social services building in North San Jose. He walked up to the exact wall where he used to stand in line for food stamps as a poor immigrant boy. And right there, leaning against the wall of the welfare office, he signed the paper that made him one of the richest men in the world. He proved that the very people who rejected him eventually had to pay a fortune to acquire what he built.
Ow.
We all have a Facebook in our lives, someone or something that told us we weren't good enough. So, I have to ask you, if the thing you want most rejected you today, would you have the courage to build something so undeniable that they would eventually have to pay you for it? Follow or subscribe to this channel.